What? Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Taylor the Third, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Again, peace up, A-Town down. It's the third, y'all. What's happening, everybody? Yo, let's talk about it this morning, right? It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful sunny day in Atlanta. It's going to be about 80 degrees today. It's 68 right now. I'm loving that because it had been like some real rainy, semi-cool days with that kind of tornado, hurricane, off the coast, breeze type weather. Yeah, we've been getting that. We've been getting that pretty regular, and it was starting. I mean, I don't mind a day or two, but after about two, I'm like, okay, come on now, I need the sun to come back. That throws off my energy clock. I need that sun, baby. Sun, fun in the sun in the fun. So, oh, y'all checking out the fit. Y'all want to know about this? I've worn it before. It's one of my favorite pieces in the closet. You know, shout out to my ONYXCON style fans, everybody who follows us for our style content. This is from Malaysia, all right? The hibiscus flower, that's what that is, which is their national flower. And you see hibiscus all over the main city of Kuala Lumpur. Yes, I've been there. That's right. That's why I got this. In Malaysia. Shout out to Malaysia. Mantap. Malaysia is mantap. Mantap means top, the best. The great. It's great. That's basically what that means in the language of Malay. Shout out to all my Malay. Shout out to the Chinese. Shout out to my Tamil. Especially my Tamil. Shout out to all my Indians over there, because that was my connection to the country. I met a lady online. She was Tamil, and very beautiful, very interesting experience I went through. Okay, so I it's like every time I wear this, I reminisce on that trip. I reminisce on that experience, and I think about the ups and downs I went through to get there, to survive there, and to get back, and to say that I did it and be happy about it and proud about it, because that was my first, I repeat, my first passport stamp internationally. Wasn't my first ever international experience. I had been, a day trip in Mexico, but I don't count that as an official. I mean, I count it, but I don't count it as an official trip, because it was just a day. It was just hopping over the border in San Diego to Tijuana, and then before that, way back when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in 5th grade, and my parents, we went over to the Bahamas. So that was the Bahamas was like my first ever out of the country trip when it was, like I said, in 5th grade. That's how I always remember that. So that's how old I was then, whatever age that is. And then, like I say, so like my first true, for myself, adult passport stamp was Malaysia. So every time I wear this jersey, it just reminds me of that accomplishment. And it was an accomplishment. I mean, anybody that travels can tell you, that's a long ass trip. That's a like, their AM is our PM. So right now it's about to be 10 o'clock at night over there when it's 10 o'clock in the daytime here. You feel me? Yeah, big difference. So anyway, I wanted to talk to y'all today about that, and just not just going to a place like Malaysia, but just going anywhere outside the country. And I talk a lot on this channel. We do vlogs, and with this being summer, I'm really fiending to get on a plane and go somewhere, because I love travel. And we don't have the budget for it, not yet. We're working on it, thanks to you, all of my subscribers. Shout out to my 1,500 plus. Thank you so much. We see y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all gonna be the reason for the season. I always tell y'all the ones. We make it happen because of you. We do it for you. If we ain't got no audience, what we got? We gotta have somebody watching it, right? We don't just put this stuff up. We don't just make it and put it in a vault like it's a box of memoirs. Yes, it is, of course. It is like a yearbook to look back through my own content, but I want to see thousands next to every post and know that people all over the world are enjoying this and learning, because we're all about edutainment. Okay, again, ONYXCON is your 501c3 nonprofit arts and creative lifestyle organization. So you can donate any cash sign ONYXCON. or on Venmo at ONYXCON, all right? Just like how you find us here at ONYXCON. Just like how you find us all over all of our platforms network except for TikTok and Twitch. On both of those, we have ONYXCON 1, ONYXCON 1, the numeral 1. Other than that, at ONYXCON, you can always find us. Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase. Shout out to Fanbase. If you ain't on Fanbase, where you at? You need to be on Fanbase for real. That's the truth. I go live a lot over there too, by the way. Everybody gets a treat. You know what I mean? Like, I try to vary it up per day. Every day I'll do a live on each of them. Most of the time, sometimes I go live twice on Fanbase. And I plan to go live on there today. So just giving you fair warning, if you ain't already on Fanbase, you might want to jump over there and get yourself an account. And while you're at it, you can buy yourself some loves, because there you got likes, regular likes, that's free. You can just hit the thumbs up all day, but that ain't helping nobody pay no bills. That ain't keeping nothing afloat. That ain't really showing love. So you can buy love. And for example, $4.99 will get you 500 loves. And each love is like 0.005 cents. So when people start smashing that button, I know from experience, you can come out of a live and thrive. You know what I mean? You can mess around. You gotta have $5 to cash out every month, but you can literally make, in the right live with the right audience, I've made that much money in one live. Like, it happened, and I was really happy about that. You know, because, you know, sometimes you don't get nothing. I mean, most of the time you don't get nothing. I tell people all the time when I'm telling them about Fanbase, and I'm not no official salesperson for it, or this ain't no paid promo. It's just, I believe in it, and I want it, because they win. It's another alternative to some of these other apps where you have to wait so damn long to get monetized. The present company, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for the win. I don't care. I'm gonna stay here until it happens. But, and when it does happen, then I'm gonna keep going even stronger. But, you know, it shouldn't take years for you to get your money. You know what I mean? It just shouldn't. That ain't no opinion. That's a fact. That's how everybody who does YouTube feels. It doesn't make sense that ads can be put on. As soon as your content is important enough or influential enough that people can put ads on it and make money off it, but you don't see a dime of it until you hit 4,000 watch hours, or what is it, 10 million on shorts in the last 90 days. God dang. But to speak of the good life, the good side of it all, I see the increase in the numbers when I do a lot more shorts. Shorts are winning, so we're gonna keep going. We got 65,000 watch hours in the last 90 days. Used to not average nothing 1,000 when it came to shorts. There would just be a few, and that would be that. But lately, it's been looking like, yo, you mess around here, you keep going, you're gonna hit them. I know ain't no, at some point I'm gonna start hitting hundreds of thousands within the last 90 days on shorts. And that's a good thought, to know that can be, because that's gonna help everything else. So back to the travel thing, right? I was just watching a video. I watch a lot of videos, but I literally just finished watching one, and I'm not gonna name the channel or anything like that, because it ain't what this guy was saying in the video. It was true, but you know, he was trying to be sensational, as most will do on YouTube. It's what you sometimes gotta do. If I ain't about to, hey, look, I'm an actor, but unless I choose to do one of my characters that I've created, I'm not going to go out too far outside of who I am. I mean, I have exaggerated sides of just who I am. I can do that fun, but I got to be in the mood. Like this morning, I'm just mellow. I'm just chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to be, hey, everybody. I ain't about to do all that shit. Man, for what? Like, you need all that to stay awake, then that's on you. That's not my job. Go take whatever you need to do, eat what you need to eat, drink what you need to drink to get yourself alive, because I'm here to give you some good energy no matter what mood I'm in. But don't expect me to be bouncing off walls and every time you see me and stuff. Now, it wins. And shout out to all the young folk who making their millions being goofy. I'm too old for that. I don't mind. I can have a goofy side, but I ain't gonna be acting goofy every day. Hell no. I ain't gonna be playing silly every day. I gotta be in the mood for whatever I'm in, to do whatever I'm doing, right? This is my life, and I'm making you privy to it. So And speaking of that, everybody's situation is different. That's how it applies to this video I was watching. The guy was talking about Thailand and how right now there's these new rules for getting into Thailand, even for visitation, like not just for living, because a lot of people want to live in Thailand because if you don't know, if you've been considering the expat life or the digital nomad lifestyle or any of those things, man, oh man, when I tell you the savings are real, like I know of people who've had the experience, and then I know so many YouTubers I follow heavy, and the ones who are honest and not, you know, just trying to sell this consultation and that consultation, which I have no problem with that. I mean, yeah, we offer consultations, by the way, if you want to know more about places I've been. If you want to have a personal consultation about Malaysia or Yucatan, Mexico, particularly Playa del Carmen, or República Dominicana, wow, I got some news for you. And my videos will give you some stuff you can get for free easily. But if you just want, if you watch all of our content and you still got questions, hey, hit us in the DMs at Fanbase or on Instagram. That's about the best two ways to do it. Or direct email ONYXCON@gmail.com. Let us know you saw me talking about this and you seriously, you know, if you got to come correct, because if I can tell from the email you just BSing, you're gonna get blocked hardcore. I don't play when it comes to my time like that. I don't do that. That's why we don't allow, you know, trolling and nonsense here. We just don't. That's a waste of energy and time. So if you're serious and you want that consultation like that, yeah, we can set up a Zoom call, 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no paid account. They got the free Zoom. You know how it go, if you know how Zoom go. And if you need more than 45, okay, it'll be another price for another 45. But yo, we'll chop it up. And I'll tell you what you need to really, really know about what it's like in these places and some of the things I experienced. And but like I say, your homework before you even do that is to just watch all the content here, because it might answer all your questions right there, because I'm very, very open about what I went through. Especially, I would say, my best vlogs in terms of detail and the depths of an experience. Not that the other ones aren't phenomenal. Each one of them is phenomenal, but I'm saying, if you want the in and out, the ugly, the good, the bad, yo, that República Dominicana, that Dominican trip, man, it had every high and every low, and it ended on the most highs. So at the end of it, it's the weirdest feeling, because I still, you know, of course I still love it because of that. I do want to go back. I feel strong about going back now because I know how to do it right. Like, you know how you try one first time, you fall off the bike, all that, and then but you know why you fell off. So now you go back. I ain't falling no more. Oh no, we're gonna be riding the whole time. We're gonna know how to roll. We're gonna roll smooth too. If we get a bump in the road, we're gonna know how to fix our tire. We're gonna know how to, you know, you gotta get like that about anywhere you go. So like I say, this guy, this video I was watching, he was in Thailand. He was explaining how these new rules are going to affect travelers, and there's new expenses, and pretty much, and I've heard this before, but you know, he just added more flavor to what I've already heard all over the internet. Everybody's talking about it in the travel community because it's a popular destination, and people are realizing, man, they really cracking down on people coming through and taking advantage of the bang for their buck. Yes, okay, the American dollar is powerful, but people, you know, some people come with this arrogance and they're treating people bad, they're causing riffraff energy, and or they love the way they live there, and they want to do ne'er-do-well scams and all kind of stuff like that. Now, I heard the same conversation when I was in Malaysia, and I hate to say it was typically pointed. All I ever kept hearing was, okay, if you don't know about Malaysia with this, I'll say this. The pecking order of finance and control of everything in Malaysia, it goes Malay at the top, which are a mixed group of people who have a bit of everybody else that they have their different quote-unquote racial conflicts or whatever ethnic conflicts with, okay? But it's kind of, for those who fall into that, not everybody is, you know, collectively in that mind state. It's just like here in America, you got some white folks who are on some, like, we're the best, we're the everything, and everybody else is beneath us. And even some folks want to say, when they say American, they really just talking about white folk. They don't even want to mean, they don't mean nobody else. Everybody else just kind of here, and they look at us like we just, even though we were all born here too, you know, like, you know, y'all just kind of here until we can get rid of y'all, like the current administration is attempting to do. That's a whole nother ugly conversation that we are not cool with, right? So same kind of thing in a different way, totally different way with Malaysia. Like they coexist, the Malay, the Chinese, and the Tamil, especially. I'll just say South Indians because it's mostly Tamil, but they could be from other regions than South. But that's the primary group. The Tamil from South India have been there the longest. Matter of fact, they were the longest. They were there the first out of all the groups that migrated there first. Yeah, if you really want to go deep into the history, I'm not talking. Now, of course, the original peoples of the region, the indigenous folk, were there forever. Or not forever, but you know what I'm saying. They've been there the longest. Then, I'm saying the first folk to come and blend with them were from India. Then you had years and years and years of all this other coming. You had the Chinese, of course. You got, and then you have all these European groups. But because of all those people blending, the core, the root of it all is those indigenous folks. That's the root of the Malay themselves. You blend them with all the other groups that came in, excuse me, the Indian, the Chinese, the Europeans, even Africans, yes, that is correct. Direct from the continent. I mean, you know, it's an amazing place for its blend. It really is. It's incredible how much is going on historically and how it reflects it in today. But the Malay at the top, they control all the banking, all the, you know, if you see the palace, which I saw where the king lives and stuff, it lets you know who got the money. It's for real. And they are a Muslim country because they had that influence. They had Islamic influence come in historically, and that left the last most impactful impression on the country in terms of its ruling class with the Malay. So yeah, a lot of history, man. But what I heard all the time when I was there, they was like, oh, you know, some people think that the African students, the ones, some of them are legit, but some of them, most of them, they want to make it like most of them are scammers and that. I said, God damn. So, shit, like everywhere, African Americans, African from the continent, like wherever quote unquote black folk will be outside of the motherland itself, and even there's issues, of course. I mean, there's issues everywhere, but I'm saying there's always this tone of we need a scapegoat. Like these three that I talked about, these main three groups, they got more conflict with each other all the time, from what I learned. Okay, and I'm just speaking from people telling me straight up incidents and situations, and giving me references for it. Like I remember when my Tamil friend was telling me how Indians are treated, like black folk are treated in America. I said, oh shit. So, and that's, it could be good, bad, and all around. You got some folk who got control of stuff, good jobs, whatever, but you're the tokens. You're the example, so can nobody say we don't give y'all nothing, but at the same time, we keeping most of y'all down. And that's just the bottom line. If you look at the comparison of who has what, who's allowed to have what, and I saw it directly when I was looking for Airbnbs, in the sense, I didn't have the problem with this. Like, as soon as they know you're American, no matter what you are, as soon as they hear your voice on the phone, as soon as they see the way you write, and it's not broken English when you're typing your text and everything to work things out with an Airbnb, oh, it's instant, respect and a little bit of groveling depending on who you're dealing with, because they think, oh yeah, you got that money. So yeah, we kiss up to you a little bit, even if we don't like you really or whatever, And then I realized too that I saw a video that like, yo, if I were Indian and you trying to get a place or whatever, they will block people, just like how they do some black folk in situations here in America. Like you trying to get an apartment and you got a certain kind of name that's considered an ethnic name that people like, Taquisha Clark. I'm making up a name here, Taquisha Clark and Jamarius. These are those African American made up quote unquote hood names, right? That folk came up with years and years ago. They didn't always exist, by the way, okay? You ever noticed in 1970s movies, for all my folk here who want to know the history of all that, that may have been the beginnings of when some of them names started, but that did not happen. That in the 70s, if folk wanted a different name other than the quote unquote names they were given through typical colonial situations from the South, they were picking African names, Swahili names, Yoruba names, other, different African ethnic group names. That was the trend in the 70s and stuff. I'd say somewhere in the 80s, after all of it else had happened to the cultures. All right, we do it for the cultures, plural, like I say here. You know, then you started having Demarius and Jacquarius and all them Ariuses and Delantes, this ante and that ante, and I know for a fact it's real because I'm from Atlanta and them names are very Atlanta. There's a lot of them in Atlanta, them kind of names, right? But that don't automatically mean people are on some shady business, not educated, ignorant, hood, ghetto, if you will, whatever. But because of the stereotypes and even some of the folks who do have them names being willingly wanting to be identified that way and wanting to act like, yeah, that's who I am, and you know, you got folk acting like ratchet is a culture. I always say, y'all, that is not a culture. That is not a culture. Ratchet is a fallout result of broken cultures, like true cultural identity broken. And you get the result of all this bad behavior being excused for, well, it's just the way we is and we ain't trying to change shit, you know. But that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't really trying. But my point is, you could have the Aquarius who's a BFA graduate, a doctorate graduate, very well spoken, thick pockets. I mean, you seriously got that money and everything, right? Graduated with honors from an HBCU and all that. But as soon as his name is seen on the application, oh, wait a minute, what is he? What? Okay, when did he get out of jail? Who's this, that, and the other? There's all these stereotypes. And none of them, a few of them might apply, but and even when they do apply, it don't mean he's some unsavory person, you know? And then there'd be the ones who are, but I'm saying this is the problem. The duality is the problem because for the ones that cause a problem, it's like the few bad grapes spoil the bunch. And then the one person who isn't like that, or the many people not like that, when they travel, when they do anything, they catching hell just because of their name, just because of their look, because of whatever. You know, and I'm talking about the ones who are, you know, folk who are going to be well-groomed, come correct and everything. I ain't talking about no Pookies and Ray Rays, as they say. We ain't talking about Pookie and Ray Ray. But the problem is, there are Pookies and Ray Rays in every ethnicity and every culture, okay? And that mentality of folk want the damage they do, it scars so hard that it stereotypes the whole group of anybody who might seem a little bit like them in look or ethnic identity, you know, whatever. So phenotype, etc. So that's what happens in Malaysia. And I saw it. Like, I would walk in a bank and I wouldn't get treated bad. I would get suspicion first. I would always get suspicion, like, you know, what is he? Who is he? What? And, you know, there's a little bit of intrigue because I'm taller than most everybody else. I'm 6'2". I'm right at 6'2", you know what I'm saying? 6'1" and a half, but, you know, come on. Put on some shoes, I'm 6'2". And, like, you know, people would be giving me that look like, you know, who is he? And my friends told me, yo, they think you're a basketball player or either athlete or a rapper. I was like, goddamn, stereotype, but... But you get treated a certain kind of way because of it too, in a good way, but also a kind of annoying because on the good, if people kissing up to you, if they come with that, so when's your album coming out? It's like, man, you should ask before you assume. Like, no, I'm not a rapper. I'm not, I mean, hell. Can you rap? Yeah, I can bust a flow, but no, I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Do you play basketball? I can shoot a hoop, but I'm not a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so you go through that nonsense, right? And then you got people who just you're just the curiosity in general. You're the other completely. And once you open your mouth and they realize you're American for real, it's not no I wonder if he is, you get a different treatment. And some people are gonna kiss up to you. Like, I went through the stuff, like I said, I went in a bank Once again, are we live then? Are you my friend? Are we live then? Are you my friend? Then step this way. Step this way. Let's go. So yeah. Is that, a lot of people, like this situation I was talking about, I noticed in some countries, or I think that are in some countries, because they have this America, this thing in their head about that's the land of everything, and there should be no excuse for an American ever saying they having financial problems. Like, because America has marketed itself like that, because some Americans have marketed themselves like that, because people do sometimes not get off the plane with a certain kind of arrogance and treat everybody like the help and all that old BS. Like, I don't do that when I go anywhere. Not here in America, not there, not there. I don't, no. I don't even like, it's funny. It's funny. I did ride share at one point, right? When I'm in other countries, that's the only time I do ride. Now, I have a vehicle here, so it makes sense. But I'm saying, if I'm ever in a situation where it would make sense to do ride share, it might. Here we go. And then there's the chance of me finding somebody who reminds me of myself. And that, well, I'll tell that back. That ain't rare as great drivers. But I don't want to have the bad experience. And I don't like the feeling of how I know they know sometimes that people want to treat them like the help. So they kind of have this, they're like, some of them loosen up quick, some of them that takes a while, some of them it don't happen to the end of the trip where they're like, man, you're really cool, man. Have a good day, Joseph. I'll be like, you too, brother. Whatever, but I don't like the feeling that all that mental taxation, it frustrates me, because I wish I had more funds where, like, I tip my drivers, whatever, if I'm doing something in another country, but wish I had more to give. Then there's the whole thing of you give too much and people think, oh, let me try to play you or whatever, you know what I mean? It goes so many different ways, so it's tiring. The whole thing can be very tiring in America, I would say, especially. Now, if I'm in other countries, I'm at the mercy of what I got to do, so I do it. But again, I don't come with that arrogance, and I don't like because so many Americans have already come with that arrogance, people expecting that bullshit off of me, and I'm like, oh no, man, I'm not them. I'm not them at all. They not like us. They not like us, not at all. And when I tell them that I used to do Lyft and stuff, they're like, then I always get a little more instant respect, because I start telling stories, and they know, oh, he ain't just talking, he ain't trying to, sound relatable. No, this brother been through the fire. Oh, okay. And then it's more respect. As I always say, we lead with respect first, then power, then money. So I wish more countries, back to my other point about when I described the whole thing of the weirdness, because people have this expectation of Americans, even in America. You don't come from another country, you're now here, either on a green card or actually where hey man, with our money,